Welcome to the Financial Freedom Podcast with your host, Lorna Poole, sharing the secrets to creating wealth, investing, and that all-important money mindset. To find out more and accelerate your journey to financial freedom, head on over to www.lornapoole.com to get started. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Financial Freedom Podcast. Women need to make more money. They need to hold their own. Well, my guest expert today, Annette Rose, is a woman's money coach, motivational speaker, and women's cheerleader with a successful corporate career as a senior executive in financial services spanning 20 plus years and having experienced firsthand the struggles of having it all, the career, the family, and mentoring many women over the course of her career. She is now determined to empower 1 million women to turn the tables on the pay and retirement savings gap. Annette, great to have you here.
Good morning or good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's so great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Annette, I totally agree. I still feel women, we lag behind, a lot of us, in our ability to own our money, make good money, and, kind of own that. Completely agree with that. And I guess for me, that's why I have decided that it's time to stop talking and start doing. Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about this. Have you been through it? Did you earn little money at one point? Like, how did you become to be a senior executive and actually own your worth and own the money that's coming to you?
Yeah, I think that's a really good place to start. So something that I've had to work on as I've started to look at running my own business and making more money myself has really been, where did I come from in my money story, shall we say. And what I discovered was that in my past, as often happens for a lot of us, there were events which caused me to be in a position that, although I've had an awesome career, so those events of my past and my childhood forged in me this resilience and this desire to never be out of control of my money. The events of my childhood also led me to have very bad money habits. And so I think a lot of women find that back in their past somewhere, there may have been events, it may have been whether you had to live a childhood of scarcity like I did. So we didn't have a lot of money. Things were very, very tight. I was never allowed to have new things. This money story was created for me. And then added to that, I also lived, unfortunately, in a very cold and often violent childhood. And I remember at the age of 14 saying to my mum, why can't we leave? Why can't we just get out of here? Because this is not tenable. And my mum saying to me, Annette, I'm really sorry, but I don't have the financial means to move us out of this situation.
Wow.
And you're just going to have to wait until you're 17, until you're old enough to move out of home and take care of yourself. And that for me, I think really, two things. So I've had terrible spending habits in my lifetime because I want to have everything I couldn't have when I was a child. But similarly, I've also had this incredible drive to succeed and to not be told that I can't do things. And so that's where that career came from, really. Yeah.
You said something there that really hit a core at me about asking your mum, why can't we get out of this situation? Because I remember having a similar conversation with my mum, and I remember in my family as well, Dad made the money, he was the boss of the money, and my mum lived off whatever he gave her for the week.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
She never worked outside the home, so she was very dependent on him. And, when you're just talking there about it, a lot of women will find themselves in a situation that you're talking about right now, where they're very dependent on their other half financially.
Yeah, and that is a thing. So when I look at my list of why do women end up in this place where they come to their 40s? And I run an exercise with women, which I call the aha moment. Mm-hmm. And we end up in this place where the time that we've worked and the time that we could have been amassing money it's a big chunk of time and it's gone. We can't get it back and we haven't made the money.
Yeah.
The time between now and retirement is very, very short. And one of the reasons is because of that gender stereotyping where women believe that somebody else should or will take care of them.
And even like I find myself even at the moment, I'm in the kiddie stage of, I have a little one that's 2.5. I have one on the way, and I can't work the same. Well, I can, of course, some people do, but a lot of women, like I take part-time work at the moment as well as doing the business or whatever, and it's always a learning curve. But I think a lot of women find themselves with circumstances throughout their life, as you say, and they get to their 40s and, they have these career breaks and things like this to build a family or whatever. And you just, and there's no doubt in the world right now, there's still, and I know a lot of celebrities now, like actors, are actually standing up for this, getting paid the same, even when you hear about Hollywood. And a male actor is getting paid more than a female, and the difference is quite crazy.
It's huge. I'm trying to think of who the actress was that stood out. In fact, was it Michelle? I think it was Michelle Williams, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
And the gap was huge. And fair play to the men in that situation who said, we're not going to keep working until you pay her the same. But again on my list. So if we look at women's journey through work and just how difficult we have it, from all the things that you've talked about, but starting with the fact that those gender stereotypes are there from birth. And so women, a lot of the time, and the statistics are there to actually back this up, women go into lower paid careers. So, when I was doing some research recently, I was looking at, the fact that the percentage of females in careers like healthcare, social assistance, education is over 40%. These are the lower paid ends of the pay scale. And men in those professions are just 16%. Conversely, if you look at professional, scientific and technical services, 51% male and just 27% female. And so right from the beginning, women are, whether it's nature or nurture, women do often go into these lower paid careers. And so not only are they're starting with lower pay, they're not getting paid the same amount as their male counterparts. And then, as you rightly said, they take time out of the workplace to raise children or to care for people. And all of that time out of the workplace, nobody is paying into their retirement savings. And that is where we get to this point in our 40s, where if you look at the amount of money that you should have in retirement savings to sustain a comfortable lifestyle, and this is why I call it the aha moment, because I say to women, how much money do you have in your retirement savings right now? And many times they'll say, I don't know, which is shocking. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, if they do know, I say to them, well, do you know how much you should have in your retirement savings right now? And the answer is always no. Mm-hmm. And in Australia, if I was to look at the comfortable retirement savings amount you should have at age 45, as a single person, which I always encourage women to do, to look at themselves, stop thinking about your partner, stop thinking about whether somebody else is going to take care of you, and think about taking care of yourself. You should have around $355,000 in your retirement savings fund by the time you're 45. That's huge.
And some people have zero.
Well, that's right. Some women do have zero. And we come to this point where my cause is all about saying to women, you need to wake up, because life happens. Life wants to throw curveballs at you. Mm-hmm. And, if you're in this situation where you believe that nothing bad is going to happen to you,
you're very naive.
You're doing the ostrich. I think the chances that something will happen, and whether that's the breakup of a relationship, divorce, somebody has an accident and can't work anymore. I come across women every single day where these scenarios are happening to them, and they're sitting there in front of me saying, Annette, I just don't even know where to start with this. We were married. Go on.
Let's get to this. What's the solution?
Oh, okay. So the first thing that I wanted to say is, if you're a woman listening to this and you have children, I want you to find a way to get them the financial education that they need, because if we're going to circumvent the pay and retirement gap, we have to get our girls to know how to save and to know how to invest for their future as soon as they start working. So that's point one.
Yeah.
That's really, really important, because the time that we could do something about it is when we don't have kids. When we first start earning, if we start investing at the beginning of our career, we're just not going to have the problems that we're having now in the generation of women that are my age, which is between 40 and 50. The second thing is, which was the title of our podcast, which is women need to make more money.
Absolutely.
Now, look, I was having a little trawl through some of your awesome previous podcasts, and I want to encourage your listeners to go back to season 41. You had a guest on called Kevin Michael Geary, and he was talking about how to create more money, how to stop trading your time for money. And that is a super awesome podcast for you guys to listen to, because he talks about, when you're in a traditional job, you're trading time for money. You work for an hour, you get paid an hourly rate. That is not a way that you're going to build mass wealth. And often all of that money is taken up with the living business, right? You're committed, you've got expenses. If you can create a side hustle, if you can find another way to make more money, there are loads of incredible ways that we can do now online. So look at network marketing and the rise of incredible companies who they're not, back in the dark ages like Amway and Avon. They're incredible companies that you can use to make a living. Look at businesses like affiliate marketing, where you can promote somebody's course or you can promote somebody's product for them. Amazing. Look at making something. So if you're a crafty kind of person, start making it and selling those things on Etsy or selling them on Amazon. And then there is the whole rise of Amazon. Go on.
I think what women or people don't realize, as you say, Annette, I've had a couple of guests now on about side hustles. If you keep putting it out there and keep trying and keep educating yourself, it will come. It will 100% come.
It will.
Just start.
Do you know what, Lorna? You and I feel like, we're really connected, because that is exactly right. And I say this all the time via all of my online channels. Just start. You know what? You might not turn out to be awesome at direct sales, but if you never try it, you're never going to know. So I've had a direct sales business, and I spent my whole career, as illustrious as it has been, saying, I can't sell. Don't ask me to sell. Yeah. The one thing I don't do is sales. And what did I find myself doing? Because I knew I had to find a formula to making more money, I started doing direct sales. And actually, you know what? I turned out to be quite good at it, because when you're passionate about something, you can be really good at it. You just need to learn the skills.
Yeah, I love there's a Brian Tracy quote, success leaves clues. So yes. It's like anything, making money or anything. Once you get your head around I can't do this or whatever. Once you put your focus to it, there's a formula that somebody else is doing, and all you need to do is follow their steps and you'll be getting the same result.
Yes, absolutely right. And, I want to encourage you as women to take that leap. Now, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be days when people are not going to support you. People are not going to understand why you're doing this. But I want you to wake up. And the biggest wake-up call that you can have is to remember those two things that I've said about saying, do you know what your superannuation savings or your retirement savings should be right now at your age? Okay, if you don't, you need to find out. And secondly, how much do you have in your retirement savings, so that if one of those things hits you, how are you going to ensure that you are not going to be living in your car when you retire? Now, it's a shocking statistic that 40% of women are retiring in poverty. And this is across many of the countries like the UK, Australia, the US. And in Australia, we have an even more shocking statistic, which is that in the over 55 age bracket, the fastest growing group of homeless people is now women, because we simply don't take the step to wake up and say, oh my gosh, I need to make more money. And when I make more money, I don't want you to give it to your kids. I don't want you to give it to your husband. I don't want you to put it into I don't want you to put it into buying stuff or going on holidays. I want you to invest it. I want you to invest it for yourself.
Isn't that a classic that women do? We make more money, but we give it to everybody else. Yeah, investing.
We do. Yeah, that side hustle money is for you. So when you start bringing that money in, absolutely reinvest some of it into your business, but absolutely also invest some money for you, and keep doing it, because all of that money that you're investing now is going to be earning compound interest. If you invest it in mutual funds or you put it in your retirement savings, it's going to compound and it's going to grow exponentially. No matter how little that you're putting in there, it's going to make a difference. Yeah, it's huge.
And just start, because when you invest, as you said, the most important, I think, takeaway from all this, of course, it's about, making more money, whatever. But when you start investing and start understanding compound interest and start getting your money multiplying for you, you'll be surprised how quick you'll get good at this. But you've got to get the ball rolling.
You do have to get the ball rolling. That is absolutely right. And there is there's a lot of information. There's a lot of videos. So if you come and just join my Facebook page, it's a free resource. I do heaps of videos, and that piece around being positive about investing, being excited about saving. And I know that there are times in your life where it sounds dull and it feels like, but I want the shoes, I want the handbag, I want the holiday. I want you to invest some time to learn how to get excited about seeing your money grow, and really understanding that once you start doing that, all those things that you want, they are going to be 1,000,000% possible. But you've got to get into this habit of building real money and building real wealth and getting it working for you. As a woman, Lorna, you'll have heard a fair bit about the rise of the self-care movement. So, a lot of these motivational folks are saying, you have to take care of yourself and self-care is not an option. I 100% believe that. But to me, the first place for self-care is actually taking care of your own financial future as a woman. That is huge.
And I think that's good. That's our aha.
Yes, absolutely. For me, I would much rather have a conversation with you about taking 30 minutes a week to look at your money and to learn about money and to learn how to ensure that your financial security is 100% assured as a woman.
I love that.
Because I'm kind of really terrified for my generation of women. I'm not sure, if we accelerate 20 years to the age of 67, where are women going to be? It's really quite scary. And so, I'm so passionate about getting women to wake up and to have that moment.
How do we find out more about you?
So I would love you to come and find me over on Facebook at my business page. So that is called Ignite Your Financial Future. And from there, you can join my group. You can find my personal profile. So everything is kind of centered around that Ignite Your Financial Future page.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you for being here. Love your message. And I don't think, Annette, you can say this enough. Women need to take control of their money and focus on making more and doing something useful with it. Get investing.
Yes.
Thank you, Annette.
Get investing. Thanks for having me, Lorna.
Hey, everyone. Remember to join us in the Private Financial Freedom Podcast Facebook group with me, your host, Lorna Poole. This is a safe haven of like-minded wealth-getting go-getters who, like you, are on their journey to creating financial freedom in their life. This is where you and I can get intimate. I can give you the support and guidance to go from where you are now to where you want to be, developing your wealth mindset and creating your financial freedom life. join at www.facebook.com/groups The Financial Freedom Podcast. You will see the links to this on the website. It's in the show notes, or type it into the Facebook group. All you have to type in is Financial Freedom Podcast and you will see us there. Look forward to seeing you in the group. Take care. Thank you for joining us on the Financial Freedom Podcast, to creating wealth, investing, and developing your money mindset. To get started today on your journey, head on over to www.lornapoole.com and grab your free course, 5 Steps to Breaking Free from Your Poverty Mindset and Accelerating Your Journey to Financial Freedom. See you there.